I'm Victor Margiotta, and this is the Community Show. The community is based on the family. The family is the cornerstone of the community. It is important that families sit down to a nice hearty meal together. It's where conversations start. It's where you can talk to your kids about different things, see how they're doing in school. One recipe that was handed down to me from my Aunt Teresa on my mother's side, Aunt Terry Lombardi, is Margiotta, and I am going to share that with you today. It's a very simple recipe. We start off with flour. I have some high gluten all-purpose flour, and what I do is I add 1 egg, and a cup of water. So it's a cup of flour, 1 egg, and a cup of water. Okay, add a little salt. The first time I made this dish, we always wanted to ask her about the recipe, but we were afraid it was too much work, so we didn't really press the issue. But then finally, she gave us the recipe. Now you see how it's still a little thick, so what I'll do, I didn't want to add too much water, so I'll add just a little bit more water now. It's all in the thickness of the dough. Regular pasta dough is just flour and egg, and you knead the flour and egg together. They usually start it like a pile of flour. You add 1 egg, and then you mix it in. Oh, see that? That's just right. Okay. Now my pan is hot. I am making a marinara sauce. In the marinara, I want to put, it's a 28-ounce can of tomatoes that I squeezed. I'm adding some parsley. I'm adding some garlic. I'm going to add a little salt and a little pepper. And that's just a basic marinara. I'm also going to add some olive oil. Okay, and we'll just let that come to a boil. Really, once it comes to a boil, it's done. If I was going to make our regular spaghetti sauce, I would add meat and onions, and that's why they call it gravy, because you add so much to it, especially the meat part. That's why they call it gravy. Okay, so I got this. This is the pasta dough. And we're nice. Oh, that's perfect. That's just the right consistency. What I do is I put a little oil in the pan. Now this is the tricky part. You let it get around, but you don't want to put too much oil, because then the flour, so I'll just dump that in the marinara just to get rid of. Okay. Now this is just the right size pan for what I'm doing. So we're going to make the crepes. So we start, okay, that's just right. We'll put this here. Now what you do is you send it, see, now there was a little too much oil, so that's why it's going to slide around in the pan. You want it to stick to the pan, okay? All right. So like I was saying, the first time I made this, I was watching Lydia on TV. And she was making the same exact thing. It was amazing. So just because I put a little too much oil in the pan, it slid around. So what you do is just move it around with your spoon. And that's just right. Now the heat is just a little high, so I'll go ahead and lower the heat. Okay, and we're going to flip it. All right, and that's our first one. Usually the first one doesn't come out just right. It takes a couple to get it. So what we'll do is, we'll put this on the side, all right, and that'll be our first crepe. So we'll do another one. All right, we pour just the right amount. Okay, that's good. Now this time it should stick. We shall see, yes. It is sticking a little better. Okay, so these are the pasta crepes. This is for the Margiotta. Now, What I like to do is I always try to incorporate vegetables in my cooking, almost like you're hiding the vegetables. So what I do is I put the spinach in the ricotta and the mozzarella. That'll be the filling. And we're going to make a couple of different sauces for the manigot. We're going to have the regular marinara, and then we're going to make an Alfredo sauce, and we're also going to make a vodka sauce. We'll make a penne vodka. So, well, not penne vodka, because then you'd have penne. So then it's a manigot vodka sauce. All right. Now see, just when it starts to come off the edge, and you give it a flip. You could even use your hand. Okay. So there we go. That's 2 down. We've got a few more to go. Let me just stir my sauce. Very good. Like I said, marinara really doesn't take that long to cook, just a couple of minutes. Once it comes to a boil, really, it's done. Very simple sauce. Okay. All right, so speaking of tradition, my family, I have 8 brothers, 1 sister, and we've got hundreds of cousins. I used to love going to the different cousins' houses when we were young and experience different foods. My Uncle Tony, my Aunt Terry's husband, used to make a wonderful sauce. I used to love going to his house and trying his different sauces. All right, we're going to keep going with the crepes. And it was a family tradition, and that's what's so important. Okay, and that's just the right amount. Now, if you want to make a lot of crepes, you could go with 2 cups of flour, 2 cups of water, and 2 eggs, and you could make quite a few more. They freeze really well too, so once you make them, you could freeze them and then have them for future use. Okay, while we're doing this, I'm going to do a vodka sauce. So let me get this burner on. Make sure it's coming up. The heat is coming up. Good. Okay, now vodka sauce, we start off with a little ham. You could use prosciutto. So what I do is I mince the ham. You really want to mince it up good. It's got to be a nice fine. When I do the crepes, usually I get 2 pans going at the same time because you have time in between each one to kind of give it a second. Let's see. Oh, almost. All right, see this, that's what you have to be careful of. It'll stick together, so 1 good flip. So that's 3 now we got going. We're going to do a few more. All right, I'm heating up the pan for the vodka sauce. I am mincing the ham. Like I said, prosciutto is another excellent alternative. So we have the ham. Well, this is a lot because for an order, you'd probably use maybe less than half of what I have here. So we'll put this on the side. I'm going to add a little onion to it, so I'll get some onion. All right, that crepe is done. Put that here. We'll start another one. All right. We'll probably get about 6 crepes out of this. So if you do the 2 eggs with the 2 cups of flour, 2 cups of water, you'd probably get about 12 crepes. So it's all depending on how much you want to do. Another thing I've done is breaded and fried the manigot also, which is, it's like a fried ravioli. It's delicious. But it's another step in the process, and but it's so good. It's awesome. It's definitely something to try. Okay, so we get that. All right, I'm going to get my onions. Let me check my pan. It's getting good and hot. All right, I'm also going to mince the onion. We don't need really a lot, just a little bit. We're not making a lot of vodka sauce. We're just making enough to cover 1 of the orders of manigot. We're actually going to make 3 orders. We'll make 1 just with marinara. We'll make 1 with the vodka sauce and 1 with the Alfredo sauce. Okay? So there's 3 different options. There's so many different sauces that we can try. And it's exciting, it really is, to be able to diversify yourself. And, you know, because variety is the spice of life, and we all like to try different things. We like to mix it up, okay? My father didn't really cook too much with cream. He was just a sauce kind of guy, but this is ready. We'll get this flipped. Loosen it up, there we go. That's pretty much ready. We'll get another one going. Let me check my pan, it's good and hot. It's on high, so it should be. Okay, so let me see. That's done, we might as well get another crepe going. Oh, this is working out perfectly. So then once we started having kids in my family, my parents had 25 grandkids. So instead of going to cousin's house, the marinara is done, so I'm going to turn this off. Like I said, marinara really doesn't take that long to cook. If you were going to cook the regular spaghetti sauce, that takes 4 hours to cook. And like I said, they call it gravy because we put all kinds of meats in it. The meatballs, we could put lamb, we could put pork, whatever. It all adds some beautiful flavors to the sauce, okay? So the marinara is done. This pan is good and hot. We're going to go ahead and make our vodka sauce. So add a little olive oil, all right, a little salt, a little pepper. We have our onions. We have our garlic. And we have the ham. Like I said, we really don't need that much. I probably used more than I should, but that's fine. The ham will crackle and pop a little bit, which is fine. Now you just want it to brown. You never want to burn garlic because then it loses its flavor. Then it has a rougher. So here's the special ingredient. We add the vodka. Okay. I'm going to add the flame. There we go. All right. Now, this crepe is done. Okay, I can put this out. All right. What we do is we add the cream. All right. And we'll add the marinara. And we'll let that cook down. That was a nice little flame. All right, this crepe is done. We're going to lower this now. Okay, that's good. Flip the crepe. Probably have 2 more crepes to go. All right, what we're going to do also is we're going to poach the crepes or the manigot when we're done. But I want to show you how. Might as well get this going. This is the ricotta. I have mozzarella. This is going to be the filling for the, I would say it's about 1/3 of the amount of mozzarella to the amount of ricotta that you have. And I'm going to add a little spinach. Okay, and we'll mix this up. My sauce is okay over here. We had a nice little flame going there. If you're going to do that at home, just be careful. One thing you definitely don't want to do is spill a flame. But it's nice to add. We can add a little parsley to that. Let me get some more parsley here. Okay. And chop that up. Okay, that manigot is definitely done. Let's get another one going. This will probably be the last one. Okay. All right. That's perfect. Again, we'll just let it roll around. Lovely. You want to try and get it as thin as you can. If it's a little thick, it's okay. Okay, so what I want to do also, since we're going to poach our manigot, I want to get some water in the pan. Okay. And we'll serve a couple. Like I said, we'll do one. We also are going to want to get our Alfredo sauce going, but that'll be just a minute. So we've got plenty of time here. Okay, so this is the filling for the manigot. I have put a little salt, a little pepper, little Romano cheese. Okay, and like I said, this is going to be spinach manigot. Some people say manicotti. I prefer to say manigot. It's just like mozzarella or ravioli or any of those lovely. Oh, that's just right. That's perfect. Okay. All right, this final crepe is done. We'll move this stuff over. Oh, we just got to flip it. Let me get my spoon here. That's just right. That one was a little thick, but that's fine. Let me turn this back up. We'll let this cook back down a little more, the vodka sauce. Let's see how that is. Now, vodka sauces, they refer to a pink sauce. We're also going to add some Romano to this. So we'll just let that cook down a little more. All right. Now, the crepes. What we do is we take the edges off. What I like to do is just put them inside. Okay. And then you get your filling. Okay. All right. So the ricotta sticks a little. Sometimes it's a little tough to handle, but that's fine. All right, and we'll just wrap it up just like that. And that's one. Oh, that feels just right. Okay, I got a little coming out of the bottom. We'll just take that off. All right, there's one. Now, these were a little thick. I probably could have thinned them out just a little more, but that's fine. Okay, this is our final crepe. Okay, now we can go ahead and make some Alfredo sauce too. I'll turn this up. All right, Alfredo sauce is cream, which is right here. We'll add the cream. Good. And some butter. And we're going to put in egg yolk, which I'll get in a minute. All right, a little more butter. Now, if we were going to make fettuccine, we would need more sauce because the fettuccine absorbs a lot of the sauce. But since we're just going to cover a couple of crepes with the Alfredo sauce, we really don't need a lot. So even if you're at home and you're making, say, a tortellini Alfredo, you wouldn't need that much sauce. So, okay, hopefully this water is, yep, it's coming to a boil. We're going to put our manigot in there. That'll cook it for us. Heat it up, actually. It's basically cooked. All right, there's another. We'll roll this up. That's a little bit too much. We'll take some out. Okay. All right, roll it up. And they're kind of flat. They actually cook better. That's a perfect one. That one's just right. Okay, oh, and it feels like velvet. It's perfect. Okay, then we'll get another one. We're going to put them all in the pan, and by the time we're ready to plate the dishes, we will have all the sauces will be ready. The marinara is already ready. And here we go. Now this is a recipe. You could put butternut squash. I actually have one in the butternut squash from the garden. You would cook it and then mince it up, actually puree it, and then you could put it in with the ricotta. And then you would have butternut squash manigot instead of spinach, which we have today. So, here we go. Like I said, the manigot, there's different brands that are easier to handle. This brand, which is excellent, okay, we're going to lower the heat on our Alfredo sauce, because that's pretty much coming. We'll just keep it on low. We'll turn the sauce up on the alla vodka sauce. Okay. All right. We'll roll this baby. That's just right. Oh, just beautiful. Okay, we're going to start putting them in the pan. I just want to finish a couple more. We'll move a little quicker here. All right. Like I said, what I do is I put the piece that you cut off, put it right in the middle. All right. All right. This can be lowered a little more, because that's not going to take long to cook now at all. It's just the way it's supposed to be. It's bubbling up a little. We're going to just add an egg yolk and some Romano cheese. All right. Here we go. And just flatten it out a little. You could take the extra cheese out. All right. So we're getting there. We're getting there. Now that last one we will use. Like I said, the first one usually doesn't come out that great. So, but you could doctor it up. We'll fix it. I'll show you. All right. It's a little sticky, but it's fine. Okay, and that's number 5. We're going to want 6 because we have 3 different sauces and we want to use 2 for each plate. So, that's good. A little more. Oh, that's perfect. Just right. Okay. All right, we just have 5 minutes, so we will be speeding this along. All right, we'll get those right in the pan. What we're doing here is we're poaching the Margiotta. I think we can fit them all in there. Okay. And one more we'll just put on the side here. We'll really turn the heat up on that. Okay, let that come to it's already come to a boil. All right, we have our bread. We got our broccoli rabe, which I love, and that'll be another show. But this won't take long to cook, so we'll plate the first one. Move some stuff over here. Okay. All right, we got our plate. Actually, the marinara is going to be the first one, so we'll get that done. We have our bread. All right. Now this takes a couple minutes. Okay. And this sauce is actually ready, so we'll pan. Okay. All right. All right. So I'm going to get my egg yolk. All right, so we got 1 egg yolk. Put it in here. And got some Romano cheese. Okay. And we'll stir that up. And that is a lovely Alfredo sauce. Just right. Would add just a little more cream. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and plate these dishes. That's done. It's all done. Turn everything off. Okay, we'll scoop this out. All right. Now this is the Alfredo. Voila. A little bit of parsley. Okay. Here's our, this will be the alla vodka one. Okay. We just want to put little, okay. That's the alla vodka. All right. A little bit of parsley. Beautiful. And last but not least, we'll just use the plain marinara. Okay, so we actually poached the Margiotta in the water. You could cook them in the sauce. That would have been another option. And voila. So we have our Margiotta with regular marinara. We have one with the pink vodka sauce. And we have one with Alfredo. Okay, let me show you the Alfredo. All right. And we turned all this off. Oh, that was beautiful. Okay, next time we will make the broccoli rabe. What I like to do with the broccoli rabe is I usually cook the stems first and then add the garlic. Garlic always you want to put last because you don't want to burn the garlic. I also like to add onions. And then I'll put the tops of the broccoli rabe in just to cook down. So, I hope you enjoyed the show. We have a little more parsley here. And next time maybe we'll make some butternut squash. That was actually from the garden. And I hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much.